Welcome to BL Hub. If you're a lover of boys' love stories or you do kick your legs while watching two men kissing, then you are at the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share before we dive into this story. Thank you.
My head feels like it's been split open and glued back together wrong. There's a dull, rhythmic pounding behind my eyes, each throb syncing with my pulse, reminding me that I'm still alive, and that whatever happened last night didn't end when I blacked out. The first thing I notice is the ceiling. Not mine. Too high. Too clean. A faint crack runs across it like a scar, unfamiliar, unclaimed. I blink hard, once, twice, hoping the room will rearrange itself into my bedroom back home, with my stupid blinking fairy lights and the faint smell of detergent I never managed to rinse out properly. It doesn't. The second thing I notice is the smell. Expensive. Masculine. Something warm and sharp, like spice and smoke. It clings to the air, to the sheets, to my skin. My stomach drops. Slowly, very slowly, I turn my head. White hotel sheets. Rumpled. Wrinkled. A jacket thrown carelessly over a chair. A pair of black trousers on the floor. Shoes lined neatly by the door like someone actually cared enough to place them there. Panic crawls up my spine. I push myself up on my elbows and immediately regret it. The room tilts, my vision blurs, nausea rises in a vicious wave. I squeeze my eyes shut and breathe through my nose, counting to 10, then 20, then 30. When I open them again, the memory still refuses to come back. But my body remembers. There's a soreness, low and insistent, not painful exactly, but unmistakable. The kind that doesn't come from sleeping wrong or dancing too hard. My throat tightens. No, I whisper, my voice hoarse. No, no, no. I clutch the sheets, knuckles white, heart racing as fragments flash through my mind like broken glass. A drink pressed into my hand. Laughter too loud. Music too close. Someone's fingers brushing mine. The darkness. Nothing solid. Nothing clear. Just absence. I throw the sheets aside and freeze. I'm naked. The air hits my skin, cold and unforgiving. I scramble out of bed, legs shaky, grabbing the nearest thing I can find, a shirt that definitely isn't mine. It's oversized, black, smells exactly like the room. I tug it on with trembling hands. My phone. I need my phone. I spot it on the bedside table, screen dark, accusing. I snatch it up and check the time. 10:47 a.m. The date punches me in the chest. December 26th. Christmas Eve was 2 nights ago. I scroll frantically, no missed calls, no messages, no frantic, "Where are you?" texts from my friends. Nothing. My location history is useless. The last thing I remember clearly is leaving the party to get some air. The party? God, the party. It was supposed to be harmless. A stupid end-of-year thing organized by mutuals I barely liked. I'd gone because staying home felt worse, because Christmas had always been complicated, because I needed noise and lights and people to drown out the loneliness. I hadn't planned to drink much. I know that. I'm careful. Always have been. So why does my body feel like it betrayed me? I scan the room again, heart hammering. Whoever I was here with, he's gone. No sign of him except the weight he left behind, pressing down on my chest like guilt. A folded piece of paper sits beside my phone. I stare at it for a full 10 seconds before touching it. My fingers hesitate, then unfold it. Just one line. Written neatly. You left before I woke up. We should talk. No name. No number. My breath comes out shaky. No, I mutter again, stuffing the note back where I found it, like that will erase it. We absolutely should not. I don't wait. I don't think. I grab my clothes from the floor, dress as fast as my trembling hands allow, shove my feet into my shoes and bolt. The hallway outside the room feels endless. The carpet swallows my footsteps as I head straight for the elevator, eyes down, hood up, praying I don't run into anyone. My reflection in the mirrored walls looks wrong. Pale, eyes shadowed, lips bruised just enough to make my stomach twist. I don't recognize myself. The cold air outside hits me like punishment. I don't stop walking until my lungs burn. By the time I get home, I've convinced myself of one thing and one thing only. Whatever happened in that room is over. A mistake. A blur. A night stolen from me. I'll lock it away and move on. I have to. 3 days later, I walk straight into hell. It's a Monday. The kind that starts wrong and keeps getting worse. I'm already irritated before I step into the building, coffee lukewarm in my hand, mind still foggy from nights of restless sleep and half-remembered dreams I wake up sweating from. I don't look up when I enter the conference room. I hear the voice first. Smooth. Familiar in the worst way. About time. Every muscle in my body goes rigid. I know that voice. I lift my head slowly, dread pooling in my stomach, and our eyes meet. The world tilts. My rival. The last person on earth I should ever be connected to like this. He's standing at the front of the room, suit perfectly tailored, dark hair neatly styled, expression cool and unreadable. The same sharp gaze that's been across tables from me in meetings, that's torn my proposals apart, that's smirked every time he's beaten me to an opportunity. The man I've hated for years. The man I woke up with in a hotel bed. My chest tightens, heart slamming so hard I'm sure everyone can hear it. No. This isn't real. I force my face into neutrality, even as my hands shake at my sides. I take my seat without a word, avoiding his eyes like they're a loaded weapon. The meeting starts. Slides change. Voices overlap. Words blur. I don't hear any of it. All I can think about is the way his presence fills the room, controlled and unbothered. Like nothing happened. Like he didn't touch me. Like he didn't see me at my most vulnerable. I risk a glance. Big mistake. He's already looking at me. There's no shock in his expression. No confusion. Only recognition. And something darker beneath it. My stomach drops. He remembers. Every nerve in my body screams danger. The meeting ends, chairs scraping, people standing, conversations starting up around us. I move fast, grabbing my bag, intent on disappearing before he can say a word. I make it to the door. Then his voice cuts through the noise, calm and deliberate. Running again? I freeze. Slowly I turn around. He's standing closer than he was a second ago, eyes locked onto mine, unreadable but sharp. Up close, he looks exactly like he did in my fractured memories, too real, too solid. I don't know what you think you're talking about, I say, forcing my voice steady. One corner of his mouth lifts. You left in a hurry, he says quietly. Didn't even say goodbye. My heart slams against my ribs. I don't remember anything, I snap. And even if I did, whatever that was, it was a mistake. His gaze darkens. Was it, he asks. The air between us feels tight, electric, like a wire pulled too far. People are watching. I can feel it. The last thing I need is a scene. Drop it, I hiss. It never happened. For a long moment he just looks at me. Then he leans in, voice low enough that only I can hear. It happened, he says. And you were drugged. The words hit me like a slap. My breath stutters. What? His eyes don't leave my face. And someone wanted it too, he adds. So yes, we're going to talk. Whether you like it or not. My pulse roars in my ears. This wasn't a mistake. It was the beginning of something I should have never been dragged into. And my worst enemy is standing right in the middle of it with me. I don't answer him. I can't. My mouth opens, but nothing comes out. The words "you were drugged" echo in my head like a gunshot, too loud, too final, rewriting everything I thought I knew about that night. My heartbeat turns frantic, uneven, like it's trying to escape my chest. He straightens, stepping back just enough to look normal to anyone watching. The mask slides back over his face, professional, detached, infuriatingly calm. The rival everyone knows. I hate him for that calm. I grab my bag and push past him without another word, my shoulder brushing his arm. The contact is brief, accidental, but it sends a shock through me all the same. My skin burns where he touched me, like it remembers something my mind refuses to. I don't stop until I'm outside, cold air biting into my lungs. I brace my hands on my knees and breathe, deep and shaky, until the dizziness passes. The word makes bile rise in my throat. I replay the party in my head for the 100th time. The lights. The music. The drink. That second glass I didn't finish. The way my limbs started to feel heavy too fast, like gravity had doubled without warning. I'd brushed it off then. Told myself I was tired, that I hadn't eaten enough. God, I was so stupid. My phone buzzes. I flinch like it's a threat. Unknown number. I already know. We need to talk. Not here. Tonight. I type back without thinking. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. You don't get to say no, he replies. Not when someone tried to hurt you. My jaw tightens. You don't know that. I do, he sends. Because the same thing happened to me. That stops me cold. I stare at the screen, heart thudding. What? The pause. Longer this time. Christmas Eve wasn't an accident, he types. Meet me at 7. Cafe on Linden Street. I shove my phone into my pocket, hands shaking. This is insane. Everything about this is insane. The hotel. The drugging. The idea that we were both targeted feels unreal, like a bad plot twist in a story I didn't agree to be part of. I should ignore him. I should go home, lock my door, pretend none of this is happening. Instead, at 6:58 p.m., I'm standing across the street from the cafe, watching the door like it might bite me. I hate myself for being here. He's already inside. Of course he is. I spot him through the window, seated in the corner, posture relaxed, one hand around a cup of coffee he hasn't touched. He looks normal. Too normal. Like this is just another meeting, another negotiation he's about to win. I cross the street before I can change my mind. The bell above the door rings when I step in. His gaze lifts instantly, locking onto me with unsettling precision. He doesn't smile. He doesn't wave. He waits. I take the seat across from him, keeping the table between us like a barrier. Talk, I say, arms crossed tightly over my chest. He studies me for a moment, eyes sharp but not unkind. It throws me off more than anger would have. You should get checked, he says finally. A doctor. Blood test. If it was what I think it was, traces might still be there. You think? I snap. You're acting like you're suddenly an expert. His jaw tightens. I know because I woke up the same way you did. Blank spots. Disorientation. Loss of time. Except I didn't leave. I stiffen. What does that mean? It means I woke up before you, he says quietly. And I knew something was wrong. The cafe noise fades into the background. Cups clink. Someone laughs. None of it feels real. You're lying, I say weakly. If I were lying, he says, I wouldn't have told you that. I swallow. Why you? I ask. Why me? He leans back, fingers lacing together. Because we're visible. Because people watch us. Because ruining one of us would be satisfying. Ruining both of us at once. His mouth curves, humorless. That's efficient. I hate how much sense that makes. You think someone did this to hurt our careers? I ask. I think someone wanted leverage, he replies. Or revenge. Silence stretches between us. I rub my temples. I didn't consent, I say suddenly, the words tearing out of me. I would never. I know, he says immediately. I look up, startled by how fast he says it. You were barely conscious, he continues, voice low, steady. You weren't yourself. If I'd known what was happening sooner, I would have stopped it before it went anywhere. My throat tightens painfully. Then why didn't you? I whisper. Because, he admits, by the time I realized something was off, it had already started. And I was compromised too. That sits heavy between us. Neither of us is innocent. Neither of us is at fault. I exhale shakily. This changes nothing between us. His eyes flicker. I didn't say it did. Good, I say. Because I still don't trust you. A corner of his mouth lifts. I wouldn't expect you to. We sit there, two enemies forced into the same ugly truth. Someone slipped something into our drinks, he says. Not alcohol. Something fast-acting. Colorless. Tasteless. You're awfully calm, I mutter. I'm angry, he corrects. I'm just controlled. I scoff. Must be nice. He studies me again, and for the first time, I see something crack beneath the surface. Not anger. Concern. You haven't slept, he says. That's none of your business. You're shaking. I clench my fists under the table. Stop looking at me like that. Like what? Like you care. For a moment he says nothing. Maybe I do, he says finally. Does that scare you? Yes, I admit before I can stop myself. He nods slowly, like that's the answer he expected. We don't have to like each other, he says. But we do need to work together. Just until we figure out who did this. And after? I ask. After, he says, eyes darkening, we go back to hating each other. I should feel relieved. Instead, something twists uncomfortably in my chest. I say, but there are rules. His brow arches. I'm listening. No touching, I say. No reminding me of that night. And no using this against me. Ever. He holds my gaze. Agreed. I stand abruptly. This doesn't make us allies. No, he says. It makes us survivors. I pause, then walk out without looking back. But even as the door closes behind me, I know one thing with terrifying certainty. Whatever happened between us didn't end in that hotel room. It only tied us together tighter than rivalry ever could. I don't sleep that night. Every time I close my eyes, my body remembers before my mind does. The pressure. A mouth at my neck. Fingers gripping my hips like they were afraid I'd disappear. I jolt awake each time, heart racing, sheets twisted around my legs, shame and confusion crawling over my skin. I tell myself it's just trauma. That my brain is trying to fill in blanks with fiction. But the dreams feel too real. By morning, my patience is gone and my nerves are shot. I show up at work with a headache and a temper sharp enough to draw blood. I avoid his floor entirely, take the stairs instead of the elevator, keep my head down like I can outrun what's already wrapped itself around my life. It doesn't work. I'm halfway through answering emails when my phone vibrates. Unknown number. Did you get tested? I stare at the message longer than necessary. No, I type back. I'm fine. A lie. I know it. He probably does too. That's not an answer, he replies. I booked an appointment. Private clinic. My fingers hover over the screen. I didn't ask you to. I know, he says. I did it anyway. I should be furious. Instead, a strange, unwanted relief spreads through my chest. I'm not going, I reply. 3 dots. I'll pick you up. That snaps something in me. Do not come near my office. This time, the pause is longer. Then meet me downstairs at noon, he finally sends. Or I walk in. I curse under my breath. At 11:58, I'm standing in the lobby with my coat on, jaw clenched so hard it aches. I tell myself it's about control. About not letting him dictate anything else in my life. That's a lie too. He's already there, leaning against a pillar like he owns the building. Dark coat. Hands in pockets. Eyes lifting the moment he sees me. God, I hate how my chest tightens. We don't speak as we walk to his car. The silence is heavy, loaded with things neither of us wants to say. The city blurs past the window, my reflection staring back at me looking tired and too aware. The clinic is discreet. Quiet. The kind of place people pay extra to keep secrets buried. We sit on opposite sides of the waiting room. I can feel him watching me anyway. Stop, I mutter without looking at him. I'm not doing anything. You're staring. He exhales softly. You're shaking again. I hug my arms closer to my body. Drop it. When my name is called, I stand too fast, dizziness swarming me. He's on his feet immediately, hand hovering near my elbow, not touching. I notice. The exam is clinical. Impersonal. Needles. Questions I hate answering. I keep my gaze fixed on the wall while the doctor speaks gently, like I might break if she raises her voice. Afterward, I step back into the hallway feeling hollowed out. He's waiting. Well, he asks quietly. They'll call, I say. A few days. He nods. Good. That's it. No pushing. No questions. It unsettles me more than if he'd demanded answers. On the drive back, snow starts to fall, light, lazy flakes drifting down like the world hasn't shattered beneath them. I watch them hit the windshield and melt. Why are you being like this? I ask suddenly. Like what? Careful, I say. You've never been careful with me. His grip tightens on the steering wheel. Maybe I should have been. The words hang between us, heavy with regret I don't know what to do with. That night, the first memory comes back. Not everything. Just enough. I'm sitting on my couch, staring at nothing when it hits me, sharp and sudden. The drink. I remember frowning at it. Remember thinking it tasted wrong. Sweeter than it should have been. I remember him reaching for my glass, swapping it with his without a word. Don't drink that, he'd said. Take mine. My breath stutters. He tried to stop it. My phone slips from my hand as my heart starts racing. I grab it again, fingers flying. I remember something. The reply is instant. What? You switched our drinks. The pause. Another pause, longer this time. Because I saw someone pour something into yours. My hands start shaking violently. Why didn't you say anything? Because you were already dizzy, he answers. And by the time I realized what it was, we were both compromised. I press my palm to my mouth. I didn't want you alone, he continues. I stayed. Tears blur my vision, hot and unwanted. That doesn't make this okay, I type. I know, he replies. But I do it again. Something inside me breaks at that. I don't respond. The next few days are hell. Memories come back in pieces, his voice low in my ear, asking if I was okay. Me nodding when I shouldn't have. His hands steadying me when I couldn't stand. The way he kept asking, "Are you sure?" Even when my answers didn't make sense. It doesn't erase what happened. But it changes the shape of it. By the time the test results come back, clean, thankfully, I'm exhausted in a way sleep can't fix. We meet again, this time at my apartment. I don't know why I invite him in. I just know I don't want to be alone. He stands by the door, uncertain, like he's waiting for permission to breathe. You can sit, I say quietly. He does, careful not to crowd me. I remembered more, I admit. He looks up, tense. Do you want me to hear it? I think you already know. Silence. I didn't hate you that night, I whisper. His jaw tightens. You don't have to explain. I do, I insist. Because I hate you now. And that feels safer. His eyes soften in a way that terrifies me. I don't want to be your enemy, he says. That's too bad, I reply. Because wanting you feels worse. The truth lands between us like a loaded gun. Neither of us reaches for it. But we both know the line we drew in the cafe is already fading. I really don't know what was happening to me all of a sudden, but I start avoiding mirrors. Not because I don't recognize myself, but because I do. Too well. Every glance feels like an accusation. The dark circles under my eyes. The way my shoulders stay tense even when I'm sitting still. The way my body reacts to certain thoughts before I can stop it. Like him. I tell myself it's temporary. Trauma does strange things to the brain. I've read enough articles at 3 a.m. to know that. Hyper-awareness. Confusion. Misplaced attachment. It doesn't mean anything. It can't. Work becomes unbearable. Whispers follow me through hallways. Looks linger too long. Someone laughs a little too hard when I pass. I don't know if it's paranoia or if something has already leaked, but either way, my chest feels tight all the time, like I'm bracing for impact. He notices. Of course he does. You're spiraling, he says one afternoon, blocking my path outside the elevator. I'm busy, I snap, trying to step around him. He doesn't move. This isn't just about us anymore, he says quietly. Someone's watching. That stops me. What do you mean? He glances around, then gestures toward the stairwell. I hesitate, then follow him inside. The door closes behind us with a heavy click that echoes too loud in the narrow space. I got a warning, he says. My stomach drops. From who? That's the problem, he replies. Anonymous email. No sender. Just enough detail to be convincing. Detail about what? He meets my eyes. The hotel. The night. What you were wearing. Cold spreads through my veins. That's impossible, I whisper. Someone took pictures, he says grimly. Not inside the room, but outside. Together. My vision swims. You said there was no evidence, I choke out. I said there was no evidence yet, he corrects. I didn't expect blackmail this fast. My knees feel weak. I grip the railing to steady myself. What do they want? I ask. His jaw tightens. Me to withdraw from the board election. And you? He stops. And me what? I demand. To publicly discredit yourself, he finishes. Confess to misconduct. Say you slept your way into your position. Rage explodes in my chest, burning through fear like gasoline. They want to ruin me, I breathe. They want to ruin us both, he says. You're collateral. I laugh bitterly. So this is it. This is how it ends. No, he says immediately. It's not. I look up at him, startled by the force in his voice. We don't give them what they want, he continues. We push back. How? I ask. By holding hands and pretending this didn't almost destroy me? Something flashes in his eyes, pain, maybe guilt, but he doesn't look away. By staying close, he says. Publicly. My heart stutters. What? If they think they have leverage, he explains, we take it away. We control the narrative. You're suggesting a temporary truce, he says. People already suspect tension between us. Turning it into something else will confuse them. Buy time. You want us to fake a relationship, I say flatly. I want us to survive, he replies. I stare at him, disbelief warring with something dangerously close to understanding. You're insane, I mutter. Probably, he agrees. But it works. And when it stops working? I ask. His gaze softens. Then we deal with the fallout. I hate that he makes it sound so easy. I hate more that part of me wants to say yes. No, I say finally. I won't be your shield. He steps closer, voice low. You already are. And I'm already yours. The words hit harder than they should. Don't, I warn. Don't say things like that. Why, he asks. Because they're true? I shove past him, pulse racing. I need time. You don't have much, he calls after me. That night, the email arrives. From a burner account. One photo attached. It's blurry but clear enough. Me, leaning into him outside the hotel. His coat draped over my shoulders. My face turned up toward his like I trusted him. My stomach turns. The message is short. Decide fast. I don't remember calling him. I just know he's at my door 20 minutes later, breathless, eyes sharp with concern. He steps inside without being asked. They're escalating, he says. I saw the email. I can't do this, I whisper. I can't pretend. You won't be pretending, he says softly. I laugh, hysterical. That's worse. He moves closer, stopping just short of touching me. Look at me. I don't want to. I do anyway. I won't let them hurt you, he says. Not again. Something in his voice cracks, just slightly. Why do you care so much? I ask, exhausted. He exhales, slow and heavy. Because I remember everything you don't. My breath catches. You trusted me that night, he continues. Even when you shouldn't have. I won't break that now. The silence stretches, thick and charged. If we do this, I say, there are boundaries. Name them. No lying to each other, I say. No using my body as proof. And if I say stop, I stop, he says instantly. No questions. I swallow. And when this is over? He hesitates. Just for a second. We'll see, he says. That's not an answer. But it's honest. The next morning, everything changes. He walks into the office with me. Not beside me. With me. His hand settles at my lower back, warm and steady, sending a jolt through my system. Cameras flash. Conversations die mid-sentence. Eyes widen. He leans down, murmurs near my ear, breathe. I do. Barely. Someone asks a question. Another whispers my name. A third smiles too knowingly. The story spreads faster than fire. By noon, everyone knows. By evening, the blackmailer goes silent. We're standing on the rooftop after work, city lights glowing beneath us, pretending to be something we're not, Or maybe something we're becoming. This is temporary, I remind him. He nods. Of course. His fingers are still on my waist. I don't move them away. Because somewhere between fear and survival, something dangerous has taken root. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to cut it out. The silence from the blackmailer doesn't last. It breaks the next morning. I'm halfway through my coffee when my phone buzzes with a new email notification. My chest tightens instantly, muscle memory reacting before logic can catch up. But this one is different. No threat. No photo. Just a mistake. You moved faster than expected. That's all it says. I forward it to him without thinking. He calls immediately. Don't delete anything, he says, voice sharp and focused. They slipped. Slipped how? I ask, already grabbing my coat. They acknowledged strategy, he replies. That narrows it down. Within hours, everything unravels. It turns out the person responsible isn't some shadowy outsider or obsessed fan. It's someone close. Too close. Someone who had access to the party, the guest list, the drinks. My manager. The same man who'd smiled at me for years. Who'd congratulated me on promotions. Who'd subtly reminded me I was replaceable whenever I pushed back too hard. He wanted my position. And he wanted him off the board. We sit across from each other in a private meeting room while legal handles the rest. The air feels thick, sour with betrayal. I didn't think it would go that far, my manager says, hands shaking. It was supposed to be leverage. Just enough to scare you. You drugged me, I say quietly. He can't meet my eyes. You drugged both of us, I continue, voice steady despite the way my heart is pounding. You took away my choice. Security escorts him out before I say something unforgivable. When the door shuts, I sag back in my chair, the adrenaline draining out of me all at once. My hands start shaking. Harder this time. It's over. The threat. The fear. The constant feeling of being watched. It's done. He's beside me in seconds. Not touching. Waiting. You okay? He asks softly. I let out a shaky laugh. No. But I will be. He nods like that's enough. And somehow it is. The fallout is swift. Official statements. Quiet resignations. The photos are confiscated before they ever see daylight. The story that spreads isn't scandal, it's sympathy, concern, support. By the end of the week, the fake relationship is no longer necessary. We know it. Everyone else does too. We're alone on the rooftop again, same place, different air. The city hums beneath us, alive and uncaring. So, I say, breaking the silence. That's it. He studies me carefully. Is it? The danger's gone, I say. The reason we started this. He steps closer, searching my face. And the reason we didn't stop? My breath catches. I don't know, I admit. Everything happened so fast. Yes, he says. But how you feel didn't. I look away. You don't get to decide that. No, he agrees. You do. The space between us feels charged, fragile. I was angry at you for a long time, I say. Before Christmas. Before all of this. I know. I thought hating you made me strong. And now. I swallow. Now I think it was easier. He doesn't smile. He doesn't tease. He just listens. I don't want to pretend anymore, I say. Not about what happened. Not about us. My heart hammers painfully as I finally meet his eyes. That night didn't start with consent, I continue, voice tight. And that matters. It will always matter. It does, he says immediately. And it always will. But after, I say, everything after, the choices I made, the way I feel now, that's mine. His breath stutters just slightly. You don't owe me anything, he says. I know, I whisper. That's why this is terrifying. I step closer before I lose my nerve. This, I say, gesturing between us, doesn't erase the past. It doesn't fix it. But I want to try anyway. He looks like he's barely breathing. Say the word, he murmurs. And I'll walk away. I shake my head. Don't. Slowly, carefully, he reaches out, giving me time to stop him. I don't. His fingers brush mine. Just that. Questioning. I lace my fingers through his. The contact sends a wave of warmth through me, different from the memories, different from fear. This time, my mind is clear. My body steady. This time I choose it. He exhales shakily, forehead resting against mine. We start slow, he says. Yes. We don't rush. Yes. We tell each other when it hurts. Yes. His lips hover near mine, not touching yet. This is real, he says. I know. When he kisses me, it's nothing like that night. It's gentle, uncertain, full of pauses and permission. When I pull back, he follows my lead. When I lean in again, he meets me halfway. No blur. No darkness. Just us. And for the first time since Christmas Eve, my chest doesn't feel tight. It feels hopeful. Tomorrow, the world will see us as rivals again. But tonight we choose something new. Life didn't pause so we could fall in love. It kept moving, fast, messy, unforgiving, and somehow we learned how to move with it instead of against each other. We went back to being rivals first. Meetings. Deadlines. Sharp arguments across long tables. People watched us closely, waiting for cracks, for proof that whatever rumor had burned through the office would fade into embarrassment. We gave them none. We disagreed loudly, challenged each other openly, and still, every time, we walked out together. Coffee became routine. Not dates. Just caffeine and silence before work. Sometimes words. Sometimes not. He always waited for me to start walking first. I always noticed. Nights were worse before they got better. I woke up tangled in sheets, breath caught in my throat, and he would be there, already awake, already grounded. He learned my tells faster than I learned his. The way my shoulders tensed before panic hit. The way my voice went flat when I was overwhelmed. He adjusted without asking to be thanked. I learned him too. How he worked too much when he was worried. How he clenched his jaw instead of raising his voice. How he watched me like he was afraid I'd vanish if he blinked too long. We didn't rush touch. We rebuilt it. A hand brushing mine on the kitchen counter. His jacket around my shoulders without comment. Fingers lacing together only when I reached first. Every step deliberate. Every choice mine. The first time I kissed him again, weeks later, it wasn't dramatic. We were arguing over takeout, voices raised, frustration sharp. I told him to stop trying to protect me. He told me he didn't know how not to. The silence that followed was heavy. So I closed the distance. He froze. Waited. I kissed him anyway. So certain. And he kissed me back like it mattered. Our lives stayed chaotic. Press conferences. Competing projects. Separate offices, shared glances. We learned how to be private in public and honest behind closed doors. We failed sometimes. We fought. We apologized faster. Love didn't bloom. It showed up. In grocery bags carried together. In late-night rides home. In the way he reached for my hand without thinking anymore, and the way I let him. I stopped flinching. I started laughing again. The past didn't disappear. It just stopped owning me. One night, months later, we stood on that same rooftop, city alive beneath us, wind cold against our skin. He asked me not if I loved him, but if I was happy. I said yes before thinking. Because I was. Because love didn't save me. But it stayed. And that was enough. And what do you think about our love story? Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe for more BL stories like this.